Rivals brought to you by Utah Eye Centers has arrived. And guess what else has arrived, Jason? Spring. It's officially spring. And with spring brings what?
Football!
Exactly. Spring football. I was going to say spring hopes eternal. So, so a new beginning. And, of course, there's a new beginning for our alma maters. And they're right in the thick of spring football practice, which goes on for quite a long time. They have a few practices, and then they don't. And then they have actual spring break. And then they come back, and they have a couple of practices. And they really like to drag on spring football.
It's almost like powder puff football now.
Yeah, well, of course.
To when we were playing.
So what are these teams going to be like this year? Tell us about your BYU Cougars, please, Jason.
Yeah, just going over BYU. I mean, there's nowhere but up, right?
No, there could be more down.
There could be more down, and they brought in a new offensive coordinator, and we've hashed over that. We have hopes for them. I mean, obviously, I want to see BYU do well. Kalani, their problems. Right now they're talking about this player and that player and the excitement of it down there, and kids that are showing themselves in spring ball. But I'm telling you, they've got to fix the big picture. If they're going to have a great season next year, you got to be able to this offensive coordinator's got to be able to come in and do a sound job. We'll see how good he does versus Ty Detmer. If they put the same shackles on him that they put on Ty Detmer to limit his calling, which was not fair to Ty. But let's see how this guy does. But man, Kalani's got to fix the direction of the ship. I mean, if he had no discipline last year in the locker room and have all the problems that we knew about, that is a huge issue that has to be corrected.
This is BYU. They don't have discipline problems at BYU, Jason.
Well, it didn't when I was playing there. I mean, we had knuckleheads and we had guys get in trouble, and you're managing a bunch of players.
Like Jason in there, kind of like, you will not get out of line.
No, you did not get out of line. You did not embarrass the team. You did not embarrass Lavelle. You did not embarrass the school. You'd take care of it inside the locker room, really, if it got that bad. And man, you hear the stories that came out of there. It doesn't surprise you that they had such a poor season. But if
leadership, culture, a lot of these things are important, and those are things that still needs to be developed.
Yeah,
and that
still needs to be developed.
To be seen whether that happens.
So did Tom Homo come in and have a big come-to meeting with Kalani? Because obviously Tom knows this is going on, because everybody knows, and say, you better get this fixed now, right, and have discipline on this team. And Kalani's still the head coach. Grimes supposed to be a tough guy, but he's not the head coach. So we'll see how that plays out, and if they can have I think at best case, they'll come in, we'll see it in fall ball. We'll really be able to tell there and see if they can have a good 6-6 season.
I'm optimistic, Jason. I actually think, and I don't agree with what they did with the firings of coaches, but I actually think this fits better for who Kalani is as a coach and really the personnel that they have there and what they're trying to do.
This fits Kalani's desire better.
The quarterbacks, and that's really what's going to make that offense go. All of the quarterbacks they have there are not traditional drop-back quarterbacks, and that was really the system that Ty Detmer was trying to put into place. So I think that it's actually a better fit. And it's not going to be such a demand on the quarterback to read defenses as complexly and make decisions and understand things as much. And I think the quarterbacks they have there will actually do a lot better under this situation. And I think it was kind of a wake-up call to a lot of people there to say, hey, I'll do what I have to do to make sure our program does well. So you're going to see, I believe, a much better effort across the board on this football team than you did a year ago. And I think they're better.
I expect to see that.
I think they're better than 6-6.
You think?
I do.
You think they're better than 7-5? I don't think they break 7-5.
I didn't say 7, I didn't say they were better than 7-5.
Yeah.
I think they can. I think they can get to 7
The schedule gets weak enough, in the back half of the schedule that they generally win out, in past years. So I think at best case you're 7-5.
If they're gonna
worst case you're 5-7. I think they're going to be right in that range there.
I think
unless a miracle takes place.
Yeah, I think their best bet.
They get a couple of Hail Marys and
right. I think they can win. I think they can win some games this year on effort. I really do. More effort than maybe they gave a year ago. I just think the whole chemistry and everything is set up.
That comes down to what you were saying, and you're right. You hit a great point there that Kalani I don't think was ever behind Ty Detmer being there and the pro-style offense Ty was trying to bring in. And so literally just put the shackles on Ty last year, wouldn't even let him call the plays he wanted to call. I mean, let's just tell the truth about it. I mean, that offense was called by orders from Kalani.
Do you normally lie,
Lamb.
Jason?
I do not.
You're telling the truth.
I'm telling the truth from my very good sources of information.
So you're living up to the honor code.
I'm living up to the honor code. I can
honest.
still go to BYU.
Yeah.
I'm telling the truth.
The hair and the beard got to go, but other than that, you're on your way.
No, I'm still the Idaho Warrior at heart, man. Viking all the way.
Well,
but you know, you're right to say. I hate saying Scott's right, but Scott was right. This
can
is
we
now,
just like loop that and just run it over?
This is Kalani's
Scott,
offense,
you're right?
right?
Scott, you're right.
This
Scott,
is what Kalani
right.
wanted. These quarterbacks can execute this better than they can to convert over to pro style. It all adds up to more confidence, a new energy, a new shift in the team.
And you can win a couple of games on that.
And you win a couple of games on that. So, I think they can get to a bowl game this year. Is it 6 or 7 wins?
Okay.
They can get there this year.
So up on the hill here in Salt Lake, of course, the University of Utah is in full swing, and the Utes return 78% of their team from a year ago. And you look around the Pac-12, especially the Pac-12 South, USC's got to reload. Arizona has a new coach. Arizona State has a new coach. Colorado is down. UCLA has a new coach.
Yeah.
I mean, the only stable team in the Pac-12 South is Utah.
Yeah.
I'm almost going to 100% guarantee they will be the favorite to win the Pac-12 South.
They should be. All the stars are aligned.
It really
right?
is, and that's also a scary thing because if things don't happen, you know, a strange thing happened on the way to the Forum, and this team doesn't win at all, or at least win the Pac-12 South, there's going to be a new conversation in town. But I like this Utah football team, and they've added some players offensively at receiver. They're really deep at running back, and this Jack Tuttle, who was he was a 4-star recruit. He was heavily pressured by the big programs to decommit to Utah, and he has stuck with it. And he in spring practice looks really good. I mean, he is a talent. He's a player. But the thing that dawned on me the other day was Tyler Huntley, a year ago, was kind of battling just to get playing time or to see if he was going to be the starter. And now he goes into spring football practice as the guy. So he's getting more reps. He's getting those first-team reps, and that just helps in your confidence. It helps in building you and developing you as a player. I really like excuse me, I really like this Utah football team this year.
I agree.
To do well. And,
I agree.
And they moved Chase Hansen to linebacker, which has been a problem. Their secondary is deep. They've got two shutdown corners, 2 very athletic safeties. They've shored up the linebacker position. They've reloaded with that defensive line. This football team will play for a Pac-12 championship this year. I really believe it.
I agree. Everything you said, all the stars are aligned. I mean, to return 78% and to have that type of leadership, which we thought they were lacking a little bit last year, and the consistency and the leadership just didn't show itself. With that maturity comes, leadership and man, everything's aligned. They stay healthy. They absolutely should be the favorite for the Pac-12 South.
And part of a year ago was it just had a lot of young players. And I think there was, and I'm gonna assume this, I'm gonna give Coach Whittingham a lot of credit. And he's done a phenomenal job. Just consistently won his bowl record. What he's done in Utah has been phenomenal. But I think they said, look, let's take a step back to take 2 steps forward. We'll try to compete this year. We know we're young. We know we're going to be inexperienced. We know we're going to make a lot of mistakes. But it's going to help us a year down the road, and I think you're going to see that from this Utah football team.
So you think last season Kyle and his staff were really looking forward to this year?
I think part of why
obviously they went out to win last year, but
you always do. But I think they said, look, because 2 years ago, I mean, they had 7 guys, and on their team ended up getting drafted. It was a really solid team.
Yeah.
And they knew that they were going to be filling a lot of key roles. I mean, 4 of the 5 offensive linemen, the whole receiving core, they had a new quarterback. And I think it's part of why they actually brought Tyler Huntley in to play last year, because they didn't want to have a really good team and a really inexperienced quarterback now playing this year. It's kind of like they synced up the team and maturity level by kind of biting the bullet last year, and we'll see how it pays off. But
Yeah.
I think the folks in the Ute territory here they're expecting a lot from this football team, and
yeah,
they should, and it's a good
Utah's
team.
looking, and they should. I mean, projected to looking for a Pac-12 championship and maybe a berth into the Final Four, the playoff.
Right.
Right. I mean, they should be in the hunt for that.
If this team isn't ranked, a preseason ranked team,
Yeah.
you know that there's a bias about East Coast and about the Pac-12 conference.
And my BYU Cougs are just hoping to get back to a bowl game. So we're different conversations and in different places in our.
And 30 years ago, this was a totally switched
different conversation, right?
Which I just
never thought I would have been going through.
It just kind of always jumps out at you, and I have to admit, it's kind of fun to be on the other side of it.
Yeah, I got to live with this, right? that the table's flipped on us right now. But
just show them your Super Bowl ring, Jason, and you'll be okay.
And talk about the good old days with Lavelle, and when we were putting 12 guys in the NFL at a time.
Spring has sprung and the grass has risen.
It is.
And it's time for Rivals to now go, and we'll go catch some spring football practice. Football is around the corner. We're always excited about it. We don't care where it is, if it's high school, college, professional, pee-wee, it doesn't matter. It's a great sport. Rivals has arrived, and now it's time to go. Text Rivals to 65537. Go to all those social sites and love us. And, of course, if you're halfway smart, push the podcast button, type in Rivals. And there we are. Until then, we'll catch you soon.